you. So we've been working with Ground Control for just under a year, and we are actually only a year old on the 1st of July. What my company does is we are biodiversity net gains, nature-led designers, and we build solutions for wildlife and nature recovery. I started the organisation purely and simply because I was asked to by Blue Diamond Garden Centres, who during COVID just did not have anywhere to get their ecology or biodiversity boxes, so bird houses, bird nesting boxes, whatever. And we started a journey with them, which was one direction for us to go in, but it wasn't the direction that I wanted to land in. What I wanted to do was to come on board with an organisation like yours, that we could literally pick up the 10% net gains and run with it and produce the best biodiversity potential for our clients and yours. The difference between us and the rest of the world is we're partnering with you and vice versa, you're partnering back with us. But on doing so, not only can we make for you absolutely any theatrical, sustainable ecosystems, whatever you require for each and every one of your clients, the support mechanism is that I'm autistic, and I've struggled all of my life with fitting in, really, and because I'm different, I guess there's always a difficulty for me to have done that in a work opportunity. So after being turned down by 34 jobs following a road accident where my back broke, my esophageal pipe burst, and I had a brain injury, I thought, okay, we can deal with this, and I like my own company, so I did. 1 year on from where we've started from, we've made over 20,000 habitat boxes out of 1,000 square foot of space. We make them on a compliant level. We make them out of a product that's FSC accredited from British forests. We're now working very heavily with the National Trust and the Wildlife Trust that they give us their trees when they're being naturally felled, and we produce those back into habitat boxes that go out to us. Human nature at its best is a really big ethos of Kim's, and I agree with her completely that without the right people, we can't deliver the right product. Here we have 16 young adults, all with special education needs, that help us to make for you the products that we can deliver to our clients. Recently, we've been working with Roy Chandlin and his team, and we have started to roll out on behalf of JLL some town centre solutions, which are a huge planting opportunity. It's a 3-layer planter. It's massive. It's 80 kilos. The whole of the box is biodiversity made. It goes out for the butterflies and the bees and the everything to nest in it, which ticks all of our boxes of where we need to be with this net gains delivery. But also in the town centre, it's providing the opportunities for those developers to not only tick their box for the delivery of the net gains mandatory or soon to be mandatory solutions, that we then come along with Ground Control and do the planting. It's seasonal for you guys. We don't look after that. You guys do. We just put the boxes in. But in town centres, I'm persuading a lot of the councils to put fruit trees in the top of the boxes. And why? I call it the fruits of my labour. If you've got poverty in the area and people just want to come along and pick an apple, great, let them do that when the tree is established and it grows. But also when the fruit falls, then it's feeding the nature in the area as well. These boxes with JLL, currently Roy is talking to them to kind of do a delivery to 268 of their sites. Now just imagine if that happens financially, it's rewarding for us as an organisation. It's supporting the charitable side of our organisation, but together we're dealing with the social imbalance of people like me that are employed in the UK, which is a rubbish 2%. That's it. When we take on a young person here that makes the boxes that we then deliver to our clients, we are dealing with the social impact of both of those sides of the of those things that we deal with. One of them is the social impact of nature, and we all know how bad that is working with Ground Control. And then we've got the social impact of Why should people that are different not be allowed to go into the workforce? What I've done, I'm pioneering that. And I'm pioneering it so much so that this afternoon I've got the Department for Education coming into my building, and they are going to sign us off as an accredited provider of education under a work placement situation. When those guys come next year, we can have 20 young adults a day that we can put into a training situation and roll out the goods that we make to deliver our net gain solutions. The biodiversity enhancement solutions is all about the bees, it's all about the hedgehogs, the bats, anything in those natures that requires a habitat, we can build it for you. But when I was at Green Games, the thing that hit me so hard, almost like a train, was the opportunities that are there to be able to save nature in almost such an easy fashion as I see it. And probably as a designer, I use the word easy, and of course nothing ever is, but I've delivered over those 20,000 houses and they're all different. So if somebody comes to me and says, Sammy, I don't want that size box, can I have it this size? And for instance, with that, looking on my board behind me, Green King want the biodiversity planter that I've put into town centres, but smaller, so they can put it outside their pubs. No problem at all, sir. You can have whatever you like. Because we're a manufacturing hub for you, you haven't got to buy it off the shelf, and it's not necessarily compliant, because a lot of the products that do come in from China, sadly, are not compliant. They're not good for nature. They've got dangerous chemicals added to them, and that's not what we're about, are we? We are about the ecosystems and ecology and sustainability. So we're about being positive, being amazing, being caring, happy, innovative, inspiring, ready, motivated, and being the best. And with the time to act, we want to save everything that lives. Can you hear me?
We can, Sammy.
Lovely. Okay, it keeps clicking off.
You're coming through loud and clear and passionately.
Lovely. Thank you very much. So yes, motivating action towards biodiversity. So what I need to understand within the ground control family now that we've been very much brought into, and thank you very much for doing that for us, because we don't want to stand alone on the sidelines and kind of bumble along. We want to be right in the middle of it all, producing and delivering the best options that we can for people.
Absolutely. I think we had a question from Javier.
Yeah, hi, Sammy.
Hiya.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I know you sent over one of your presentations, if there's a chance to have a look at some of your products there, just to sort of put some pictures to some of your passionate words. I don't know if Neil's got that to present.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah. Could you have a look, Neil?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And maybe, I don't know, Sammy, just sort of explaining to some of us why your products do stand out from the sort of generic imports in terms of quality, sustainability, suitability for the inhabitants, etc.
Sure. So the reason why ours do stand out from the others is the way that we've structured that we make them. So because they're made out of larch is a redwood. It's hardy and it will last 40 to 60 years. Most of the stuff that comes in from China is a particle board, and it will fall apart within a year. And that's not the idea, because once nature is nested, we don't want it to have to then pick themselves up and move. Our standout is that we don't use any chemicals, and our standout is literally who actually physically makes the product. For the safety of nature, the box itself is compliantly made under the jurisdiction and watchful eye of the RSPB, the Hedgehog Preservation Society, Bee Conservation. And for those that are in the know, we really work hard with Bug Life. Paul Hetherington and I work very closely together, that he gives me all of the knowledge and information that I need to know. And every time we make a new biodiversity box, he will sign that off before I show it to you. So we're really doing things compliantly. Some of these products are absolutely huge. So that one in the middle, the Century Bug Hotel, it looks quite small in the picture, but it's actually 2.5 meters tall. And that went into the National Trust land, and the National Trust are now putting those into most of their outlets, and in some of their shops, they're also selling the one to the left of it, which is a Nectar Bug Hotel, and the one to the right of it, which is the Baby Bug Hotel. Just as a little bit of numbers wise, the National Trust in 6 months have sold the best part of 1,600 of these to their customers. What we do with them is we provide the point of sale, the POS, that goes along with the storyboard as to why we ought to save the small things that runs the planet.
Any other
Bumblebees.
questions? I'm keeping my eye on the chat box as well.
Yeah.
Me personally, hold on.
Hi, Sammy, it's Philip.
Hi, Philip.
Just a quick question about hedgehogs and which boxes can kill them and which ones can support them. We had some feedback on those. Is there something that we should be looking out for, when we're going through procurement and when we're sort of making our judgments? Is there some guideline that you've got around that particular range?
Absolutely. So when we talked originally to the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, there's a lot on the market, and certainly on Amazon, that are just like little lids that they stick on the ground. Hedgehogs, when they give birth, there's a couple of things that you need to look out for, and one is the size of the physical entrance of the box. There is nothing on the market that is not made in this country that's compliant, because the entrant holes are too small. The other thing that they've stopped doing, or suggest that they stop doing, is internal walls. And the reason for that is Mrs. Hedgehog can get over 1 kilo. And because we're feeding hedgehogs now, and we're encouraging the feeding of hedgehogs in our gardens, which is a really good thing, she's larger in size before she actually gets pregnant and has the babies, which means, again, she gets stuck in the internal walls. So no internal walls. Hoglets will die if they are in water. And my synergy to that is, if we look at that, is, of course, it kind of makes sense that we need to keep them dry and warm. So with my box that I made on behalf of the British Hedgehog Preservation Society, and they accredited it for me, was it had a long entrance tunnel of a 30-centimetre tunnel. The tunnel was made 130 by 130, where it kind of took into content that rather large hedgehog at the time before she gave birth, and there's no predator entrance then from cats and or foxes. The box itself, we stripped all the internal walls, and we also made it watertight. The top is made of green sustainable felt, and I also put a second layer underneath of felt, which stops the water ingress from the bottom. And the only part of that box that has any chemicals are the 4 little legs that hit the floor. When we're sending anything out, Philip, in answer to your question, is we have a very informative leaflet that can go out with that box to each and every one of your clients that explains the reason why that box is the best on the market. How many have we sold in a year? 6,000. And we do 3 sizes. And the only difference between the sizes is some of them are small and compact, and the biggest one that we do, which is a 500 by 500 square, is excellent for size for taking a wildlife camera. And we always suggest, if there are people able to photograph and film the wildlife, that film is always very handy to send back to the people that look after them. So the British Hedgehog Preservation, Prickly Paws, any of these young hedgehog places that take them in, they would want the films, so that gives them their information that they need.
We've got a question in the chat. So from Jay, is there any statistics that support the boxes you produce, i.e. box type A will introduce and support kind of X type number of species, or boxes that support species in specific geographical regions?
We don't have specific geographical regions, but we do have a breakdown of what birds are suitable for each of the boxes that we use. So again, under the guideline of the RSPB, we know that 28 mil will take all of the smaller birds, 32 mil, 46 mil. We can give you a breakdown of those. And again, that's information that this brochure that I'm putting together, if you want me to put that info in because it will help you, I can.
It's Jay here. Thanks, Sammy. I just thought it would be an interesting point for clients to be able to put a geography against it, because then you've got a very localized cell that is better than just doing a holistic UK-wide one, conscious that different creatures and species need different support in different areas. I thought that would be a nice way to approach it.
I agree. I think from that point of view, what I can do is look at the stats from the RSPB and give a breakdown of their bird definitions as to what's in what area. And then I can give you the proviso of the boxes that will be suitable for that. Would that be enough breakdown for you, Jay?
Yeah, I think anything that just supports engagement at a local level helps.
No worries at all. That we can do that. That's fine. I'll take a note.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question. Any other questions? By all means, shout out loud or stick them in the chat box. What's next for you, Sammy? Question from Justine.
What's next for me with regard to the organisation?
Yeah.
We're gearing up really to support you and the other companies that we work in partnership with to make sure that we can deliver on time the build and habitat requirements that we know are going to come at us at some point in a very big wave. We've recently moved from 1,000 square foot of space to an 8,000 square foot unit. We've been in this unit now for 4 weeks. And our next move specifically is to become landowners. And we are reaching out at the moment to raise £1 million for our current CIC, which is going to a charity to open the first rural development centre for people with learning disabilities and nature recovery combined.
Brilliant, amazing. And Paul, you've put your hand up.
Yeah, hi. I work in estimating on the construction side of ground control, so we do a lot of like new builds for whether it's schools or hospitals or anything like that. And a lot of the time, things get specified by clients or architects. Obviously, have you approached, or is there any? Are you looking to approach, I guess, architect practices or the Bali membership sort of board to try and get your name into those specifications? Because I guess that's a really easy way to, rather than trying to sort of sell to clients, I guess, is if your projects are specified, it's already there and it's already been pointed to people that don't know about you. So other firms, other people, they'll get to know you through those specification sort of documents.
Yeah, we're meeting people every day actually as we go along. Other companies are suggesting that we meet with whoever. The architects generally, what I'm finding with architects is they'll come to me and ask me for a particular design, which is fine because I can work to CAD drawings, no problem at all. We will go out into the greater wider area. I mean, I already have over 300 clients that we currently are dealing with. A lot of those are more retail of industry rather than the industry that you are in. We've got to be very careful as a we're an SME, we're not a humongous company. There is 10 of us working right now, and we've gone from 3 to 10 in 1 year. However, I am always looking for opportunities and engagements and partnership potentials that will make us stronger, better, and faster at what we do.
Cool. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, a few people are thinking about that potentially. Unbeknownst to me about this collaboration, about 3 weeks ago, I bought one of the Stagbug hotels. Already got some bees in there, so very pleased with that.
Thank you. Stag's actually a very, very, very popular bug hotel for us. It's one of the tall ones that we can do, and it's excellent for putting it on a stake and putting it in the middle of a wildflower meadow. And you can put lots of those. Blue Diamond Garden Centres actually presented that with us at Hampton Court Flower Show last year, and we won gold in the wildlife container garden.
Wow, brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, there's no more questions coming through. Anything final from you, Justine? Shaking your head there. Okay, thank you very much, Sammy. Any final thoughts from you, Sammy? Anything you want to kind of leave us with in terms of a final thought?
Yeah, my final thought is this: is Javier and I have been in communication now since he joined the company, and I deal with Philip in the background probably on a weekly basis. I'm probably driving him mad, actually. My enthusiasm is that I would like to get that I would just like you guys to know that we're here for you, that the partnership is now very much engaged, and there is so much that we can be doing. I think from my experience at Net Gains, there's always this, when you go to a seminar and then you come away from the seminar and time ticks away, you kind of forget the excitement that was at the seminar and you lose the motion of that. I'd like not to do that for things to start going cold. I'd like to come in and be buzzing. So anytime that you'd like me to come along to a meeting to meet your clients and to do a presentation, please just ask me, because I'd be very happy to do that. And whilst doing that, you can also bring your clients to Stoke-on-Trent, because we have a big showroom of opportunity here that will really impress them. So I'll leave you with that thought. If you need me to do anything for you, just let me know and I'll be there.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sammy.
Thanks,
Just
Sammy.
a thank you from all of us. There's been lots of chat that we'll send over to you afterwards, and it was just to say what an incredible, amazing, brilliant thing that you're doing. And thank you. And thank you from me, because it brings the two things that I'm most passionate about, which is social mobility and bringing nature together. So it's you're the whole package for me, Sammy. So a little bit of in awe on this side of the camera here. So thank you for everything that you're doing. It's truly, truly brilliant. And thank you for coming today.
Lovely. Thanks for the invite. Take care, folks.